I have a fish, and this fish radio gave me as well. Since 2015, maybe, or 16. Yeah, I've had this fish. He gave me this fish in 2016 or 15 before, because radio died in 2016, right? Yeah, so he gave me this fish in 2015, and I still have it. Yeah. My real name is Pallaso Mayanja Mulindwa.
Mulindwa.
Yes.
Okay. Where does the name Pallaso come from as a nickname or stage name?
Pallaso, I was locked up at a certain point, and I had friends that came from Mexico, Honduras, Barbados, Panama, people, Spanish-speaking countries, Colombia, and they used to love my singing, and I used to tell them I'm gonna be a big star in the world, and they used to laugh at me. And they used to tell me "tu esta payaso," which in Spanish means "you're a joke, you're joking," uh, or a clown. So I told them I was gonna take their joke seriously, so that I become a serious joker. And I hope they can still watch me from all over the world. Okay. And I love you guys. Thank you for putting every brick. I appreciate you for every effort. You guys carved me into who I am today.
Okay. Where's we going on? When and where was Pallaso born from? The
Pallaso
villages he went through.
Pallaso was born in Mulago Hospital in 1987. Yes. And that's it. Mulago is located in Yandekera, the old Mulago Hospital.
Okay. Yeah. The villages you grew up from?
I grew up in Kawempe. Yeah, I grew up in Kawempe, and I spent most of my life in Kawempe. I used to go here and there, but I stayed in Kawempe for most of my life. That's where I grew up. Then, I traveled and went and lived in America for about 10 years. But yeah, I grew up in Kawempe, and in America, I used to live in Maine, the great 207 Maine. Yeah, man. And the city was Lewiston. The area code is 04240. I used to live on 183 Webster Street. Yes.
Then on coming back now, where have you been staying after living
the US?
Abroad? Yes, US, and coming back.
When I first came back, I stayed at a flat on Luwafu Road. First, I stayed at the Good Life Radio and Weasel's house. Then I stayed at a flat on Luwafu Road. Then I moved and rented out a house down in Luwafu Road as well. And then later on, I moved to Munyonyo. And now I stay in Bunga.
Yeah. Only crucial places. You've been moving smooth stays?
Luwafu, you go check out Luwafu and you tell me if it's that's where we started when I came back. Coming from America and having to live in Luwafu was one of the greatest tasks. It took a lot of adjustments to so many things, but I am very grateful. I was already used to that life from Kawempe. I come from humble beginnings, and it's very inspirational that we rose from Luwafu. That's why I never leave Luwafu. Me and Luwafu are like this, because that place has given me a shot.
Okay. How was Pallaso's life when growing up? Let's start with around the village before we go at home, but around the village. How was Pallaso's life when growing up?
Around the village, we used to walk, because I used to go to Happy Hours Primary School, which is in Kazo. So we used to walk. Sometimes we used to walk to school. Sometimes we use a taxi. But usually on our way back from school, we used to use foot. And that was optional. It's not that my father didn't give me transport.
Okay.
But as little kids, we had so much energy and we wanted to walk in groups. So we would eat the transport money or save it for something, and then we walk in groups. So my growing up, I knew just about the whole perimeter, like the whole diameter. I think about 10 square miles. I knew exactly what was there, which roads were there, and I was known by almost everybody. We used to play around. We used to go swimming in the, what do you call it?
The ponds?
In the ponds, in the little streams. We used to go fishing there. We used to, it was a group. I think it was a group raising, like all our parents raised us up as a group. all the neighbors knew who we were. We knew all their kids, and we were very close. So wherever lunch found you, you would eat lunch there. Wherever, so it was just, there was fights always, there was games, there was so much. We were exposed to a lot because it was very diverse. Everybody came from different backgrounds.
Should we call a Pallaso a stubborn boy around the village or with friends? Or
I can't say I was stubborn, but I can say I was always the type of person that trouble found. You know, there is those people that trouble finds you. Even when you're not in trouble, trouble still finds you. So I can say I was that. Yeah.
how many are you in the family?
In the family, we are 7. Yeah, man, 7 siblings from one same father, same mother. And then we have another sister, which makes it 8. That is not from my mother. Yeah.
And your number?
I am the second last born. Yeah.
Okay. Which schools did you go to from nursery to where you ended with your education?
Nursery, I started out in Happy Hours Nursery School. Primary, I went to the whole entire education, right? Primary, I went to Happy Hours Primary School. Then I went to Mengo Senior Secondary School. Then I went to Kasawo SS. Then I went to Kitende College. Then I went to St. Augustine's College, Wakiso. Then I moved to America, and I graduated my high school at Pennsylvania High School with a diploma. And then I went to a College of Direct Support to become a direct support professional. Yeah.
How was Pallaso at home? Now let's leave the around the village behavior and everything. At home, who was Pallaso at home?
Um, I think I was the friend of everybody, and I think I was very determined. Since I was the second last born, I was one of the youngest. So we used to have responsibilities. We used to have to do home chores. We used to have to lay our big bros beds, like, you know, Chameleon would go to start his career, and we used to help him open the door, close the door when he comes back, because our dad didn't want him sleeping out at night, right at the start of the dream. Um, I was part of the home choir. We used to drum jerry cans, basins at night when we had power shortages. We used to still sing out loud in the night. Um, I I was mommy's boy as well, because I was the second last born, so I was very close to my mother. And yeah, I had decent grades in school. I always used to surprise my parents and myself as well. So yeah, and we grew up in a very religious family. We come from a Catholic background, so we used to go to church every Sunday, and we came from a very prayerful home.
Do you still do?
Yeah, I still do. I still do. I might not find enough time to go to church as I'm supposed to, but I still pray every day within me, because God is everywhere. It's from inside you. The Holy Spirit is within you.
Are your cultural identity? Like
I'm a Muganda from Gabi clan. Yeah, man. My great grandfather is Nkyakirina. My grandfather is Japan Lulerubega Henry, and my father is Gerard Mayanja.
what
Yeah.
was your greatest hobby when growing up?
Drawing, singing, dancing, and playing ground games like Duru, board games as well, Ludo, all those things I used to love. Yeah.
What did you want to be when growing up, and what did your parents want you to be?
My parents wanted me to be a doctor, but I wanted to be a lawyer. But amidst the course, my dreams changed. I always wanted to sing since I was a child. I always was the one you would see on speech days. Even my nursery school reports say singing very good. Like I was always part of the whole, what do you call them? The
Did you notice at that moment that you will be a star who you are right
I believed in myself, and I thought it was really good. Omulangira Ndawusu was the first person to play it on radio, and when he played it, people loved it. So at this moment, I don't know if they really loved it because I was young, or they loved it because it was really good. But people embraced the song, and from there, it's like I never looked back. That's when music carried me away. From there on, and for some reason, everything I recorded on there showed a different level and a major progress. So I believed in myself, though at a very early stage of my first song, people used to tell me, of course, critics have always been there, and we've learned to grow through it. But inside me, I believed in myself, and I believe I could achieve more.
now? If your parents wanted you to be a doctor,
Mm.
did they support you when they had also you joining the music industry with your first song?
No, our father used to tell us one thing. Michael Jackson had 5 siblings, and we only really know Michael Jackson. So he told us, you don't think you're gonna be like chameleon, like you need to focus on your education and carry on a different path. Aside, my mother was very, very supportive, but she was a very big critic. It took so much to move her. My mother was not easily moved by my music. She would tell me, "Oh, the song's good, but your voice is young. Oh, the song's good, but your lyrics are young." Like, and it was always more of a positive criticism. Yeah, she always showed you where the weakness was. And my mother was also singing at home all the time, so she loved that we were singing, so she could jump in. Yeah,
Okay, what pushed you? Which artists gave you morale to join the music industry?
just to join, not the ones that shaped me for who I
Yes,
am.
just to join. People were looking up.
Chameleon, that's number one. Um, Eli Wamala. But I can greatly say at the start, so many artists have shaped me into who I am. But the artist that really inspired me to get into music was Chameleon. Yeah,
Those who shaped you.
the ones that shaped me, Chameleon, Raggedy, Red Banton, Radio and Weasel, T-Pain, Akon, Sean Kingston, Sean Paul. Yeah, that's it.
A part of your music career has been abroad.
Yeah.
What has been the most challenging? Because by the time you were still abroad, still your music was still growing.
Right.
Here in Uganda, where we
Yeah.
the challenges you faced, you in the music industry.
Abroad or even here,
Let's start
everything.
with abroad.
Abroad, first of all, the language barrier. You couldn't communicate as great as somebody that grew up there. They knew they had more vocabulary. They had more friends. They had a big social capital. Secondly, organizing the shows, venues. America, everybody has a job and they work, and it's not easy to attract somebody to come to your event when you don't have a name. Money. I didn't have enough money to start my career. Recording studios. We went to our first recording studios and it was $100 a session, and that is in 2006. $100 for 1 hour. So videography, directors wanted $2,000 for a video, and that is back in 2007. Like we didn't have the money and we didn't have the studios, so that was a big challenge. But the way I beat it is I learned these things. I learned how to record music. I learned how to produce music. I learned how to do music videos, so I could eliminate the costs, and it later on paid off. For Uganda, the challenges were, first of all, I am a brother to legends. So even at a very young stage, people used to compare me to the legends. People used to compare you already to Chameleon. You know, when the artists start out, they always never compare to anybody because they are themselves. But when you start out and you come from a great music family, people always compare your success to your brother's success. And that was a very hard stage. The other thing is, having left Uganda for about 10 years, living in the United States, people started looking at me like an American. So they never embraced me as the people they used to live with here. Another challenge is people used to tell me, oh, take come center, you must invest money. And then I used to send money for promotion and all that, and still nothing happened. So there was a lot of challenges, distance, timing. It was not easy.
When you did Amaso, that was a collab with. How did it hit you? Because it came at a time when you, it was a little period when you came back to Uganda. How did it hit you?
Amaso, Amaso was a career-changing moment. Radio and Weasel came. Like I told you, I learned how to do these things, and we were at DJ Benazo's house. And DJ Benazo says, "Ne mukole oluimba. We should do a song together." And they accepted, and I accepted, and I had my studio. I brought it to his house, and then we recorded everything there in the basement. And then we shot the video because they had a show in DC. So we traveled through Maine, Boston, New York, DC as we were shooting the video. And then that was it. Then they came back home, and then next thing I get a phone call from radio, and he tells me, "Ne Pallaso, manye chatuseo." Then wakubye hit. Nembuga for real nanga. Hey, nanga kati gomanye. Oboddeyo mu kusiimula bizimbe nakubeera mu nguudo zidduka nga tolinaako lulwo gomanye naye bitandise. And that's when it started kicking in that maybe I should go back home. I was something more than what I was letting myself have.
Okay, leave alone the music industry. It's a big story if we to tell. Do you have pets?
Yeah, I have a fish. I have about 30 dogs. Yeah, I used to have a squirrel. No, a parrot, but it actually escaped the cage and flew out. But yes, I have a fish, and this fish radio gave me as well. Yes, and I have about 30 dogs.
How long have you kept this?
Since 2015, maybe, or 16. Yeah, I've had this fish. He gave me this fish in 2016 or 15 before, because radio died in 2016, right? Yeah, so he gave me this fish in 2015, and I still have it. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, that's good. Are you a sports fan? Are you a fan of sports or are you a sports person?
I love sports. Some sports I love watching, some sports I love being part of. I love boxing. I love watching boxing, and I love boxing myself. I love to be involved. I love basketball. That's the one sport I really found myself to be good at. And even my son's playing basketball right now. And I love it because that's really who I am. When I was in prison, that's all we used to play basketball. We used to play for lunch trays and breakfast trays. I love somersaulting as a sport. Also, a board game sport or there are games?
Games.
Okay, games. I love chess. I'm a great chess player. Yeah.
Which team do you support when it comes to
Basketball, I'm a Celtics fan.
basketball? Ooh,
Yeah, I'm a big Celtics fan.
we Lakers, very hot.
I know I love Lakers. What made me fall in love with Lakers is my baby mama was a big Kobe Bryant fan. Even we would break up and Kobe was playing, and I would send her a video, and then I would kickstart the makeup. We always would watch Kobe. So even our family was very affected when Kobe died tragically. But I also love soccer. Like, I'm not a big fan of soccer, but I'm a big fan of soccer players. I love Mbappe. I love Cristiano Ronaldo. I love Messi. Of course, I love Ronaldinho from way back. Had Thierry Henry. I've been a fan, but I think I'm more of a fan of World Cup, African Cup of Nations, big leagues. Yeah, but I won't follow it around when they're just playing maybe the Premier League and the La Liga or whatever. But basketball is my thing, and like I told you,
Do you volunteer?
I have here and there. I can't say I volunteer all the time, but I have. I still do. Yeah.
So if you at a okay, like you say, not all the time, where?
Well, I used to work for Brian White Foundation. Yeah, and we did a lot of voluntary work. I also uh, work with the Hypers Kids Africa. I am like their second father. Yes, they raised me as I raised them, so that's voluntary work. I also have given back whenever I can. You know, I can't feed the whole world, but at least I've passed the plate to one hungry. Yes, I was always part of that. I always want the school houses. I was always very passionate about the school houses. I always try to see that my effort was recognized. And then yeah, that was my that was what it was, yeah.
When growing up, everyone has that stubborn element, or whether at home they don't want, or what used to disturb your parents. What was your case?
What do you mean disturbing now?
Like every time when we kids, our parents will be like, when you grow, we used to do this one thing, and everyone hated it.
I used to do somersaults, backflips. You know, I was always physically fit. So we used to climb the walls in the house. We used to flip. And if my mother found you backflipping, ngokubezo samezo, my good Lord, she would almost kill you because she knew how dangerous it was. But it was inside me because I see it also reflecting within my daughter. So I realized it's just a part of who we are. But that's one thing that she didn't like at all. And also the other thing is we Mayanjas were naturally artists. Like we are very good at drawing with a pen, with a pencil. And my dad used to hate that he would buy books for whatever English or mathematics, and he would find drawings filling up the books instead of the mathematics that was supposed to be in the books. Yeah.
Then fast forward, coming into the music industry. When did you realize you can do music?
From a young stage, we always were singers at home, but Chameleon came back and he had a studio, one of the first music studios in Uganda. It was a very small setup. It's not like the studio that you see right now. It was a microphone. We didn't have a stand, a tiny computer and desktop speakers. And then one day he recorded a song with Weasel, and I guess they had a misunderstanding. And when I went there, he's like, do you also sing? I told him, yeah. Do you have a song? I told him, yeah. Let's record it. And that's how I recorded my first professional song. And then I performed my first performance at Miami Club in Kawempe. It's now closed, but that's where my first stage performance was. But also, like, right now, there is so many young. I don't want to bring this on camera, but yeah, I'm a part of so many things.
What is an interesting thing about you? You know yourself. That this is the most interesting thing about me.
The most interesting thing about me is every time anybody tries to break me, they just put me in beast mode. I am one person that believes we all have red blood, and whatever another man can do, I can do, or at least I can try to do. And the only way I know I can't do it is when I fail. So I am one person bw'obanga oyagala kunchallenging oba olina nno okwesibira ddala ebbiri kubanga challenges zinfuula oninganga bw'onoogamba katena buli lwokakuba ku ttaka lwekeyongera okubuuka ne karisinga. So that's one thing people don't know about me. If you want me to lose, just leave me alone. But if you want me to win, try me.
Do you do home chores? Do you cook?
I'm a good cook, but I take long to cook because I'm never home. I'm always on the road. I'm always in studio. I'm always in the gym. I don't get that time. Plus, like you see, I used to do videos or produce music, but I don't do that stuff anymore because some things catch the value of your time more than others. So I run according to my priority list. So instead of spending 1 hour cooking in the kitchen, I would rather spend 1 hour cooking in the studio while my friends or somebody helps me cook in the kitchen. I try not to be a robot. I try not to do everything. I let everybody do their job.
If you to cook, what would be your favorite dish to cook?
Rice, chicken, beef, all those things. I'm a senior. Yeah.
Most artists only know how to boil water.
It's not easy to boil water because olina okugatunulako manye nti kati gatokota kati geesera okwesera n'okutokota byawukana oba olina obbawa credit.
Okay, are you in a relationship right now?
Yeah, with myself. Yeah, I mean, I am, but right now I don't think I'm ready to disclose that side of me because I'm in a growing relationship. So I want to show you guys when it has grown, when it has fruits.
Oh, okay. My last question would be: do you see the Ugandan music getting somewhere?
Yes, Ugandan music is getting everywhere. The only thing stopping Ugandan music, there is a few things. The old copyright law of 1956. So many new devices have been introduced to our industry, like technology, like internet, computers, smartphones, memory cards, memory devices, hard drives. All these things have become a threat to our music because artists are doing the job, but they're not getting paid properly from the job. There is things like the government is taking 50% of our colaback tunes, and that is very unfair because when you get 1 million or 2 million, that means you've made them 100 million. So it's unfair that an artist gets 2 million when he makes 100 million.
So like 1%.
Yeah, 1.8% is what we get. So we're trying to change these things because batuvuma abanigeria baguze private jet mweza mweziriwa private jet zaffe zituddemu abo ababbi abatwala percentage ennene ku ssente z'abayimbi bye twagala okyusa. Private jet zaffe zitudde mu UPRS, terina technology asobola and who to pay. They keep on paying the wrong people. They keep on collecting. We don't have data on how they collect, how much they collect, how they distribute. But these are things that can change our artist's life. So Ugandan music, also the support we have here is overwhelming. Okuleka, I think we need some changes. All our music, people have still refused to see it as a valuable asset. Music feeds TV, feeds radio, feeds bouncers, feeds fashion stars, feeds transporters like border taxis. Abantu bwe bannamanya nti music y'engeri yokka gye bajja ssente ku mugagga ne zikomawo mu mwavu bajja supportinga ne kati kyannaku nti olaba ne media ezimu nga zikyakuba omuntu ne zivuma omuyimbi naye nga tezimanyi nti nno omuyimbi oyo buli lwavaawo nazo ziddamu emabega katono kubanga yaleeta viewership. So tulina okuyiga nti kino ekintu kikolera wamu, buli omu yeetaaga munne. But aside that, on the money part, balina otutereereza ebintu.
Pallaso, if you were an animal, which animal would you love to be?
A lion.
Why a lion?
Because I'm a lion. I'm the king of the jungle. I'm the king of the east.
You roar?
I roar through my music. Does this look like I roar?
Okay. Last remarks you want any your fans, people watching, or in the industry too?
First of all, check out my new song with Conscience called Want Money. All the media, you should support us. Support me. This is not easy. At least I've done the hard part. The easy part left is for you to come aboard and support me. I love you guys. Happy New Year. Mwekume. N'abalogo namwe mweroge muterere. 2024 is a different year, man.
Maybe one this one, but this missing. You're not in studio. You're not performing. What are you doing?
I either love going to the gym or I love hanging out with my friends in peace. Sometimes when I have time, I go out and party a little. Yeah.
Do you get stage fright when every time people are stepping on stage, many get fears and everything? Has it ever happened to you?
Yes. Like when it's time to perform for different audiences, there is times that you find yourself with a different audience. There is international people, whites, Chinese, blacks from different origins or uh, different places they come from. So you don't know how to deal with them. So I get stage fright sometimes when things like that happen. But locally, no.
You're stable now.
Sia. Bachimunga nyingira ngendo rera yanga bitandise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you as well.